Now, Nissan's Micra has been a competent little hatchback, but for many of you and for me as well, it's not really crept up to the top of our hatchback list. There have been several reasons for it, but now with the facelift here in India in 2013, Nissan is looking to fix all of that, and I'm happy to tell you that with this car, they've played around with the looks and it no longer looks cute or girly. Well, as you can see, the basic shape remains the same. And the dimensions haven't changed much either. Well, except for one thing. Now if you look at the spec sheet, you'll see that the new Micra is 45mm longer, and that's not because of structural changes, it's because of the new restyled bumpers which have added to the overall length. But many parts and panels have been changed to replace the round and soft lines with a more masculine look. So as you can see, the new bumper has a two-part grille to it, there are new sharper headlamps with an edge to them, and of course, even the bonnet is new, more flat, and the side fenders are new too. The chrome strips provide a rich setting for the Nissan logo and highlight the air dams well too. There's a new slashed fog lamp housing, but the fog lamps are not offered on the XV variant. The new design for the 14-inch rims is smart too, and the rear has been reworked extensively. There's a lip on the tailgate, and the bumpers look more dynamic. And the restyled tail lamps, they've got LEDs in them. Nice! The XP Premium variant of the Micra gets even more. It has a rear spoiler, 15-inch wheels, 4 airbags instead of 2, and a reversing camera. Now there are two new colors with the new Micra, and I really do like this olive green, and overall I think this is a hatchback now that I wouldn't mind being seen in. But there's more to the Micra. There was the interiors which really didn't feel all that special. So let's see what happened on the inside now. Alright, first impressions, very nice. Center console looks very smart because of that all black glossy look, and the circular air vents have been replaced by these rectangular ones. I like it. Doesn't have that roundy effect to it, though of course you still have that round control for the air conditioning, which is nice. And in the middle you get this doubled-in music system which has connectivity for USB and auxiliary in here. You also have Bluetooth connectivity for your phone, so good in terms of features. Very nice, definitely. Oh, you also get steering mounted audio controls in that nice silver finish. You have your glove box here, which can store 1 liter of water, another one here. Oh, and more feel-good stuff. You'll see on the door pads that the fabric over here is better. You'll find that there's a nice silver finish as well on the armrest, and you'll find the seats also have better fabric and better bolstering. So all in all, really a nicer cabin, more comfortable, definitely feels more plush and rich. There's a bit more padding for the seats too. Ah, missed one thing. There's also seat height adjust for the driver's seat. Nice. What do I not like? Definitely one thing is this greyish color that Nissan had come up with. I think a simple nice black interior would be nice. Nissan has managed to make the interiors feel more premium without spending too much dough. The back seat is the same as before, well, except for the seat fabric of course. On the road, the Micra offers something new for the urban drivers. Now Nissan is offering the Micra with an automatic transmission. Up to now we've had planetary gearboxes in the hatchback segment, 4 speeds, 5 speeders, and recently Polo with its 7-speed twin clutch setup. And this is now a different kind of automatic gearbox. This is a CVT. Nissan calls it an X-Tronic and is their 4th generation of it. And they're really proud of it because they feel that this is very efficient and very smooth. Let's check it out, shall we? The X-Tronic CVT unit is the same one that we've seen on the Nissan Sunny and the Renault Scala, but it has been tweaked for this motor. Now the engine in use here of course is the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol motor that's made it to the automatic transmission. What Nissan have managed to do is tweak it a little bit, and it gets a bump up in power of 1 bhp. The bhp count is 75 for the automatic version, while the manual gets 74 bhp. Torque though is the same at 10.6 kilograms. That aside, the automatic Micra is also 25 kilos heavier than the manual version. As it turns out, the performance from the small motor and the CVT box isn't particularly exciting. First, we tackled the narrow roads of Madurai as we made our way to the Meenakshi temple for a darshan. Now, first I drove the Micra automatic in Madurai city, and in the narrow streets with crazy kind of traffic, it was nice to have this automatic gearbox and not make those frequent gear changes which can be so frustrating on a day-to-day basis. What really felt nice was the ease with which it managed those low to mid speeds without being a hassle. It's when you find that sudden gap and you want to make a dash for it, you'll wish that the Micra Auto had more punch. And when you hit the wide open roads, the story doesn't change much. When it comes to making overtaking maneuvers at higher speeds, it's better to put in a bit of planning. But you can get a bit more responsiveness from the Micra. Now this transmission also comes with a sport mode, which is triggered by pressing this button here on the gear shift lever. And when you do that, what the CVT does is picks a slightly shorter ratio. So when you want to make a sudden move, you get more responsiveness. The 3-cylinder motor's best performance kicks in once the revs are past the 2000 RPM mark. Then it will pull well past the 4000 RPM mark too. The punch only trails off between its 5 to 6000 RPM red line. The trouble is that the way it sounds can confuse drivers. The sound of the revs isn't directly linked to the responsiveness. If you manage to ignore the sound, you'll find that from standstill the Micra Automatic gathers pace quite nicely. What the Micra Auto does really well on an open road is cruise effortlessly. That's because this CVT can conjure up just a huge number of gear ratios to suit just about any situation, and what that does is bring out really low RPMs for some really nice speeds. So like at 100 kilometers now, even 120 kilometers an hour, I've seen just the engine reading just over 2000 RPM. So it's no surprise Nissan is proud of the CVT's efficiency too. Now Nissan claim that this transmission is really very good for fuel efficiency, so much so that they claim that this is more fuel efficient than the 5-speed manual. The motor's claimed fuel efficiency is 19.34 kilometers per litre, which is very promising. Aside from the petrol motor, Nissan will continue to offer the 1.5 litre diesel engine with a manual gearbox. The Micra will be offered in 3 trims: XL, XV and XV Premium. The petrol auto though will only be offered in the mid-level XV variant, while the XV Premium trim level will only be offered on the diesel-powered Micra. So Nissan's Micra hasn't had any drastic changes, but then it didn't need them either. This compared hatchback has had a raft of minute changes. On the styling front, it all adds up to give it an all-new character, which does have universal appeal. On the inside, of course, new materials, new features, new design elements, which all help to lift the ambiance, make it feel more upmarket, more appealing. And on the mechanical front, there aren't that many changes. The biggest, of course, is the introduction of the CVT gearbox, which for big city people will be a boon. Just don't expect it to be too enthusiastic, and high point will be an efficiency for this gearbox. Overall, the Micra in the new facelifted Avatar, definitely more appealing. We expect it to be priced at a slight premium to before, but still nonetheless should remain a competitive hatchback.